Well, this is Harold, and as I was promising some of our folks in Pure Peppers, I wanted to come at you and show you my little indoor setup here. It's pretty general, pretty basic, uh, but what it allows you to do is it doesn't matter how cold it gets outside. It doesn't matter how hot it gets outside. This setup here, it runs. If you want to grow and you have short grow seasons like we kind of do here, my you know what, my plants outside haven't even fully developed. I'm going to end up putting them in the greenhouse so that they can finish, but heck, that's what I live with. So, but this is a pretty simple setup. I'm going to go over two systems that I'm playing around with here because I'm experimenting and I'm always trying to find ways, solutions, everything. And I'll explain a little bit about some things here. First of all, the lighting. This is a full spectrum light. I'll tell you what, I paid $50 for this light. I think it went up 10, maybe 15, free shipping on Amazon. It's called Bloom Spec. There's other lights out there, but this one I've been, heck yeah, it seems to do okay with these. But it's a 300 watt light. It's a full spectrum. It pushes 139 forward volts, so it's not really using per se 300. I guess I don't know. The wattage that it's using is not the same. It's so my volts is 139, so it doesn't. It's not too bad. But I've got a meter down there that I can put it on and tell you exactly, but it runs fairly efficient. If you were to run this same light in, say, sodium, you're gonna have to push a lot more volts out to get the same light that this thing is doing. You know, with it's pushing a lot less energy. So, high pressure sodium lights, halogens, they're gonna, you know, when you're pushing those, this is the equivalent of running 600 watt high pressure sodium light. So, yeah, I'm good with it. Uh, I've got two of these because I got them on sale when Amazon was doing their Amazon Prime days, and so I've got another one still in a box. No, I'm not parting with it because I plan on running them, but I also heard somebody say, "How many plants do you think I could run? 4 or 5?" Well, let's count. There's one, two, three, 4 plants running under this little. I'd say it's probably the size of a sheet of a 8 by 11 piece of paper is what the surface is, but it kicks out and it'll probably run about a 4 foot wide section. What could I do? I could use the other light for seedlings and raise it up. One thing you'll notice, the distance. You run this light closer, those plants are just, they're not going to like it. It's, you know, even look at this. You can put your hand on here and it won't burn you. It's not that hot. I'd say the backside would probably be warmer. Cool thing is look at that, it runs a big old fan. Can't even hear it really. You can daisy chain this one. You have a plug-in right here. You know, your on-off switch here. But so I could daisy chain my other one right into it right here, and they just run continuously. If you wanted to make a bigger operation, if you were say in Canada, or you know up here in where it's colder and we don't have the long grow seasons. So enough about the light. 300 watt Bloom Spec. Full spectrum, good little. It came with the hanger. Now this setup here, I'm going to use some 3/4 inch PVC, and I'm going to shorten this here and just drop it so I can go all the way to the ceiling. Because as these grow, I need to be able to lift that light. Because like I said, if you get too close, I've found that about 36 inches, where it's at, is about where I like it. So I'm going to drop them right over here, and that'll lift it up to the ceiling, and then I can hang my light up here. And this is I've got an adjustable. This didn't come with it. I bought it $6. This is an adjustable light hanger, and that'll go up when I go up. So I can just, raise it or lower it however I need it. What am I doing? So down here, like I said, this soil mix here, I'm doing 2 different types. This soil mix here is core, and I buy it in blocks. It's big. I got 4 blocks, but I mix it with my soil outside too. So, cocoa core. So these 2 here are running that, and I'm just running this little 1 gallon, that's 2 gallon pot, I'm sorry. And then I've got some that I'm going to pick up that are about like down to here, so I'd say 3 gallons. They're just deep, the ones that I'm going to pick up, so that I'm not using a lot more surface space than what you see. They'll just be taller, and that'll allow the roots to go down and go deeper into here and go up. The plant will go up. So yeah, I think it'll work out. And you can see here it's working. These plants have been nothing but LED, and you can see I got that little pepper I took a picture of. There's a little reaper here. I'll see if I can get close. Got a little tail on it. And these are 100% LED grown. Now in the hydroponics, and I got, obviously you want to get your little tray to put under here so we can feed them. Because this soil drains so much, it's got cocoa core, Canadian sphagnum. I'm using Black Magic peat moss, the Canadian sphagnum peat moss. And then I've got a mix of soil in there, my super soil, that has different products in there. I went into that, I'd be here all day. But you can see the perlite in there. So that's a very loomy, draining, porous soil. It allows the when I feed them to go right through. These here I'm feeding them. I should say I also use my worm castings. There's a lot of worm castings from my worm bins out in the back that I also put in here, and they seem to like it. So this is experiment 1. Experiment 2 over here, and this is used in general hydroponics solution grow. That's what's in these, because I wanted to do some deep water culture and do some hydroponics. 90% of the time I'm organic, and all my plants outside are organic, but these are my, I want to be able to push something through the winter. And these ones, you can look at them, they're flourishing. This is a reaper plant here, and this reaper plant that you see here, all of this big old reaper plant you're looking at right here, same age as those. So yeah, I'm pushing the growth on it, and it's really taken off. This, like I said, these have been. It took a while for them to really catch. You'll notice all of a sudden they're not, they're going, they're not doing bad, but all of a sudden, boy, do they ever hit it. And I think I initially had started these outside in the shade, and was doing it while it was warm out. And they weren't probably half this size, both of these. And I came up under this light now, and they're just like, they're blowing up. I'm telling you, they're blowing. This one here that you see over here, this one is this is my Moruga. It came off one of my Moruga plants outside. It's actually a cutting, and I use my aeroponics system to start this one. So this one here is actually a cutting, and the crikey method is the way I did this one. Now this one was my aeroponics. I'm sorry, aeroponics. I got it going. Once the roots started, then I transferred it, and I went ahead and run it in, and it was just. Yeah, probably that big. It was just a cutting. And now look at it. This is from a cutting. So The one thing you can do with cuttings is you can emulate the plant that they came from. What I'm going to get from this plant is going to be what I got out there. So if you like a plant, this is one way that you can continue growing identical pods, is cloning them. You know, whether you do, you know, the clone or this aeroponics, or you can do the Crikey method, which is you basically keep them in a water solution. What I did one of them, and it's not here, is I just put it in a little plastic coffee container and ran the air into it, little air stone, to keep it oxygenated, and sprouted its roots. Other items you're going to need. So that's enough about this. This is a 5-gallon net pot. Basically, it's made to come in and drop right in a 5-gallon bucket. That root system there, the root spa, it comes with that little pump. So you could technically, with a root spa, you could run the system and never need anything else. It's self-contained, other than obviously changing your solution. Okay, changing your solution. You can see here on this one, what I like about this, and this food grade safe I got from Lowe's, is I can see the level. So when it starts to get low, I can top it off, or, you know, whatever. There's also, on the other side, you can see it's measurable. On the other side, there's actually incremental by liter, so you can take it up to a certain level, and I know what level I need, so I fill my solution up every 2 weeks on this guy. And I've got a filter on the water, so you can buy distilled water, or you can run it through a filter, let it set for a day just to make sure, and then change your water every 2 weeks with your solution. So yeah, it's one other thing that you can do to really get it going. But yeah, I took my advice from James Wyatt, who told me that he changes his solution about every 2 weeks. So I was like, you know what? I've seen what he's done before, and he's done well. So it's really not that bad to change the water out every 2 weeks. You can go on there too and learn to make your own solution. There's a site, Chill LED, which is, I kind of got some of my LED experience and learning from him. He makes some really awesome LEDs. You'll pay a little more, but I think in the end you'd be happy with what you got from him. But he also has a video on how to make your own hydroponic solution, and using Master Blend, and I want to say it was Epsom salts, and you make the mixture. Go on there and find it. It's really awesome, and then, you know, you may end up saving yourself a bunch, because if I remember right, he made a 1-gallon solution that's actually a concentrate that you could make 250 gallons of solution. So you just take a little bit and add it into your mix. I run on this 800 parts per million. I've got a little meter, a little digital meter, works awesome. And I also use old school pH testing. I run a pH of about 5.5 to 6. 6 is what I really shoot for. So, and my pH tester is the kind you put a little bit of your solution in a little tube about so big, put 3 drops of this pH tester in it, shake it, you just shake it, and you know, there you go, you get your results. And you just match the color to your color bar that comes with the kit, and when you hit the color that matches 6, you're golden. And then you know you're not going to damage your plants. One thing you got to do is, when you do this, and if you do hydroponic, make sure you do your solution, get your parts per million, and get your pH right before you put your plants in, before you put them back in. Make sure that's right. What do I do when I'm changing solution? I have another bucket that I just set them in while I'm changing it. I change it,